Well, this is a good opportunity to segue over to the next intersectional. You want to rag on Birds of Prey?
Of course.
I mean, it falls right in line, doesn't it?
It sure
Yeah.
does.
It's like
Oh.
it's glorifying. What is it?
Mediocrity?
I guess mediocrity.
Yeah.
Glorifying mediocrity. Well, so the next segment we have is Birds of Prey. Kathy Yan says undue expectations for Birds of Prey were an extra burden on her.
Oh no.
Is that why the movie did bad?
Sympathy.
Did it make money?
It did.
I
Made
don't know.
some.
Do you want to look up the?
It didn't do
you want to pull up the
zero.
Wikipedia for it so we can see what its box office results
Yeah,
were?
it did not do $0.
I think it
which
was a
is
flop
good.
though because the marketing budget was really, really high. So here's what's bounding into comics reports. Kathy Yan spoke on the performance of her big studio debut, Birds of Prey, which floundered in its opening weekend and swiftly made it to digital VOD in the wake of the ongoing pandemic.
That's a nice way of putting
Oh, that's
it.
not fair, though.
It had nothing to do with the pandemic. It was going straight to video.
Right.
No,
exactly.
It was the
That's why it's not fair. I just
right.
want to
Yeah,
clarify.
Yeah, let's clear that up.
I hope by now none of you have. I normally would say, like, by now you've probably seen this movie. No, most of you probably haven't, but you never cared about spoilers anyway, so this movie was awful.
Don't go see it. It's not worth it.
You can't now anyway, right?
No, you can't. Yeah, we're
I don't
all
think you
in.
Well, now it's on video, isn't it? Didn't they? I'm sure you can download. No, I've seen it on.
Oh, yeah, I have
seen it
Amazon.
on
It's on Amazon.
Something you can
Yeah.
download it. It's like, don't waste your money.
Don't do it.
Here we go. You ready for this?
Okay,
Don't do
we're
it.
ready.
She told The Hollywood Reporter, everyone was pretty quick to jump on a certain angle after the film's lack of success, and added she had an extra burden on her as a woman of color.
Oh, okay.
She said, quote, "Yeah, I think that if you actually look at the details of the budget breakdown, I know that the studio had really high expectations for the movie, as we all did. There were also undue expectations on a female-led movie, and what I was most disappointed in was this idea that perhaps it proved that we weren't ready for this yet. That was an extra burden that, as a woman of color director, I already had on me anyway. So yes, I think there were certainly different ways you could interpret the success or lack of success of the movie, and everyone has a right to do that. But I definitely do feel that everyone was pretty quick to jump on a certain angle." You know what's
It's
funny?
like she's covering her bases.
Well, this is absolutely in line with the previous segment we just did on over obese people and fat body positivity stuff. A refusal to accept responsibility for your failure.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Absolutely. You nailed it.
She doesn't want to
The
say
movie sucked.
Yes, it did. Accept
There you
it.
go.
She doesn't want to
Thanks,
say it.
Yeah,
thanks for
man.
hanging out, everybody. It's been fun. We're good to go. Yeah, the movie sucked.
It did. It was a bad movie. I wanted it to be good. I went into this watching it thinking, please be good. Please
know.
be. I was like, I didn't mind Suicide Squad. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
I went in
right.
thinking this might be entertaining. And I was just like, I don't understand how. And it just got worse and worse and worse as the movie went on.
Well, a really good example of one of these weird things they did was the women were kind of frumpy.
Right.
So there was one scene where Huntress is looking in the mirror trying to say her name, and it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who is very attractive, but they dress her down and they made her look bad. It's like, look, any person who wakes up and rolls out of bed is not going to look good.
Right.
Everyone, will trim their beard. Like every man will, well, not every man, but
Whoa. I don't trim my beard.
you don't trim.
It comes and then I get rid of it.
You just get
Comes and
That's how I
goes.
do it. That's
All
how I
right.
do it.
All right. Yeah.
Well, the point is people groom themselves.
That's true. Yes, we do.
Whoa. Hold on. No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Everybody takes care of themselves to some
Whoa.
degree.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to
All
egg you on.
But in this movie, they have this scene where Huntress is rolled out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was strange because, there's actually a photo set this woman did. And I don't think it was a feminist thing, but she took pictures of people and then took pictures of them with pushing out their guts and mashing their chins and making nasty faces.
Yeah.
So that people can see how you can make someone look really good with proper angles.
Right.
I did one photo shoot for a magazine and it was so incredibly painful. Have you had those experiences with photo shoots where they're arch your back this way, put your arm like this, now don't move for 20
I feel
minutes?
Like Adam probably has, right?
I've been wearing a wool suit in 110 degree weather, and I've also been soaking wet on a glacier.
Whoa.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'm told not to be in a sled while snow was being thrown at me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So I've had both extremes. Yeah, it exists. It sucks to devote yourself for the role that you're hired for.
Well, so what they did in this movie was So they get. I'm not trying to be mean to these women, okay? I'm just trying to point out the reason why we choose escapism, why we go into fictional fantasy worlds, is to live better, to experience things that we can't normally experience. So when we play video games, when we read comics, when we watch movies, we want to see the super ripped Captain America guy jumping off a building, falling 20 stories, and then rolling out of it and going like, oh, and he's showing how strong he is.
Right.
There's a thing they describe in comics like Batman. He has no superpowers, but he has peak human efficiency.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's the best a human could possibly be.
Yep.
Right.
And we like that. He's
Yep.
achieved some greatness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I really like in comics is I like characters who don't have powers, who have earned it, who are extremely skilled, have technology. I like Iron Man. I like Batman.
Yeah.
And what I like about the MCU is a lot of the characters just have technology.
That's true, yeah.
So
War Machine also.
Yep. Falcon,
Black Widow.
Black Widow, Hawkeye.
Yep.
They're regular people.
Yeah.
And they're superheroes.
That's a good point. I really
I
like
like
that
it.
too.
I do.
Yeah.
And some of them have powers.
Mm-hmm.
And like Watchmen was cool. It was basically about, well, not the new one, but the movie and the comic, it's about people who are superheroes and they just wear masks and fight. So that's cool that we're looking at the best a human could possibly be. Birds of Prey was not that. It was frumpy, overweight, out of shape, failures.
Well, I was watching this movie and I was like, well, they're making me feel better about how I look when I get up in the morning, but that's not what I'm here for. Like, I can just look in the mirror.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, do we have a superhero movie with a bunch of fat dudes? Like out of shape men who can't run very fast?
The Blob was a bad guy in the X-Men universe.
Yeah. But
That's the only one
that
I
was a
can think
mutant-
of.
that
That
was a
wasn't a hero, though.
That was a mutant power.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like he was indestructible, apparently.
Well, nobody liked Thor when he was overweight.
Right. Why would they?
Yeah. Everyone
That's a good
complained.
point. They tried to do
I
that.
don't know
Yeah.
why they did that.
Yep,
And
they
it's
complained
not-
about Thor.
Some people said it was actually cool. And there's a good point that with
I didn't mind it.
Well, with the dreadlocks,
Yeah.
it actually looked more like a real
Norse god.
Norse
Yeah.
Viking would actually look.
That's fair.
Instead of like this weird vanity muscle we do for Hollywood.
Well, it really just looked like he let himself go. And that's what was happening in the film because he blamed himself, so he let himself go.
Yeah.
Right. It was
like
it was actually part of the plot.
Long curly hair, dreads, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I have long curly hair, and I've got dreads in my hair sometimes that I need to get rid of, As I said, I don't really take care of my hair. I just kind of shove it in this beanie, and that's it. That's all I do.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's almost
Happens
like
naturally.
we've talked about it before. They tried to do like a female Deadpool.
Right.
it's-
You were saying that.
They make these choices where they feel morally justified in making unentertaining and unappealing content.
I wanted this. I still want this movie to be better than it was. Because I actually think of all the movie, was her name Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
She's the main character. She did great. I thought she could be a female Deadpool if they did it correctly, but they didn't do it correctly. They made it all like cheesy instead of like gritty. Like I wanted it to be gritty Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
It was Gotham.
Bubblegum.
I'm honestly just realizing that was Gotham. Like what? Wait a minute. It's like daytime Gotham. Like, oh,
Dude,
that's why it doesn't make sense.
The movie is just bad. Like
I wanted grittiness, man.
Full on Huntress made no sense.
Yeah.
The costumes were like low budget trash.
Yeah.
They so apparently the short fat little Asian girl was Cassandra Cain, who's supposed to be Batwoman, and this actually
Wait, seriously?
Batgirl or something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
And it offended a ton of like SJW type comic fans
Okay.
because Cassandra Cain is, as I think Batwoman, has a mental illness.
Okay.
Or is like neuroatypical. And so they basically removed her and created this chubby little Asian girl who in no way is Batwoman. And people were angry saying
What
that
is
they
that?
just ableist washed or whatever they call it. There's no way. Look, they think they're morally justified in making bad content with frumpy characters that are unappealing because it's morally right. No, dude. I want to see a dude who's like doing stupid things like Fast and the Furious. I want to see The Rock hold a helicopter by a chain and a car and go, and pull the helicopter off from a cliff.
Yeah.
So, like, see what I'm talking about?
It's silly.
It's ridiculous. Or Captain America holding the helicopter in Winter Soldier.
Less silly.
It's still silly. It's so silly.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be. It's a movie.
Yeah.
You don't need to make them, busty, big titty, women in skimpy clothes.
Right.
But the way they did it was like, it looked like they rolled out of bed, to like make a point about beauty or something.
Yeah. I actually really don't want people who look just like me. I don't want it to be relatable. I went for a story, something different and interesting.
In Deadpool, you had that dude who was friends with him. You know, I'm talking about TJ Miller, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Is that his name? And he was like a crusty bartender.
Right.
It's fine if somebody is the character is meant to be gross or whatever.
Right.
But that makes you kind of look down upon them. You hold them in a certain light.
Right, exactly.
Like Deadpool is gross and funny and he gets like bullet holes through him and you don't actually see him, but he's just in a costume. Why would like the people we're supposed to be rooting for be degenerate, filthy mongrel types? It doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't get it.
You know what? It can work, but it's so thick what they've done. I was watching and I'm like, I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. And they even mentioned, and I feel like there was at some point they talked about how they didn't want to make them attractive. Like,
did they have a reason?
Why? Because it's feminism.
Something about the male gaze, I'm sure.
Patriarchy.
Gosh, you're not gonna get anybody's gaze if they're straight.
Well, it was rated R, so that you couldn't get young girls. Even though I saw in all the malls when I was like in like the young, clothing shops, the exact same outfits that are skimpy and small, and it's like, but it's a rated R film. Who is your demographic? Who? Like, if you're
frumpy feminists on Twitter.
Well, no wonder it bombed.
Yeah.
That's a small window. I'm not saying
right.
Anything about those people, but it's like if that's all you're catering to, and you're expecting the comic book Batman, like the Joker fans. That's not what this movie was. It was not for them.
Have you ever seen the episode of South Park where the hippies throw a festival in South Park?
I don't think so.
Have you seen this?
I don't know. I don't recall.
So hippies start showing up to South Park, and Cartman freaks out, and he tries to go and exterminate the hippies or something ridiculous.
Oh.
He gets arrested.
Okay.
The people who are running the city are permitting the hippie jam fest. They eventually realize the hippies are overrunning everything, and there's too many of them, and they go and talk to Cartman about, like, why are you trying to get rid of the hippies? And he was like, don't you understand? They're going to take over, and they're going to have a hippie festival that'll last forever. And the mayor goes, that'll be great. We could use the extra money. And he goes, hippies don't have money. And so that's what I see here. They make a movie catering to a tiny fringe sect of weirdos on the internet.
Yeah.
Who don't care to actually see the movie. And then they wonder why no one sees it.
Yeah.
They think Twitter is real life, right?
Yeah.
And it's not. Thank
It is
God.
not.
Oh, thank God.
No. Yeah, real people are like, what did I just watch? Like,
Yeah.
we walked out confused, like, do I ask for my money back?
Yes.
Can we make the box office numbers go down after the fact?
No.
I've actually tried
unfortunately.
getting my money back after seeing a movie.
How'd that
And
work?
they told me to F off.
Oh.
And I was like, but the movie was bad. And they were like, yep, lots of movies are bad. I was like, yeah, it's a good point.
It's
Whatever.
like, you got me there.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this was definitely, I mean, the scene where she like squats on the roller skates and then Banshee screams at her butt and it projects her forward. What were they thinking with this, man?
Oh my gosh.
It was really silly.
It was awful.
But not silly in a good way.
No, I know, you're right.
You know, like
Silly.
there was one scene where Harley drop kicks a dude.
Okay.
It's badass.
When
she's fighting.
There was a slim couple times where it's a cool fight scene.
Yep.
Like the evidence lockup.
Exactly. That's what she does. She drop kicks the guy, and I'm like, that's cool.
Oh man, that might be the only good fight scene.
Right.
Yeah.
So they definitely tried doing like the Harley's gymnastic, acrobatic ability in fights and stuff. It just didn't work out. Like when she raids the police department.
Yeah.
Nothing
and
made
she's
sense.
shooting everyone with glitter bombs.
Why were they trying to make it for little kids but rated R?
And nobody shot back at her.
Yeah, in a police
They were
station.
like, who's this person in the police station? Oh, glitter bomb.
It was rated R. She should have just used regular bullets.
I agree.
Instead, it was
And
like
killed people.
glitter bombs.
It's like, what?
I understand they're trying to go for the Harley, aesthetic, laughing gas, glitter bombs, and bean bags and all that silliness.
That just
Doesn't work.
just kind of makes me feel like they're infantilizing women.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I thought it was terrible. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.